For today's video blog, I want to talk to you about the proper way, correct technique for fighting a fish. And it really doesn't matter if it's a big tuna, marlin offshore, or fishing close to the beach like for calico bass. It's the same technique. It's about the same way to lift a rod and wind down. But to better illustrate this, let's take a look at some footage from a recent fishing trip that we were on, fishing for tuna offshore. We're fishing with Jim, and he's one of our regular anglers, and you'll see from him the correct way to pull on a fish. Well, right now we're about 125 miles offshore. We're just drifting. The skipper found a meter mark last night and kind of stayed in the area. First light, we got baits in the water and we started getting bit pretty quick. This is Jim, he's on a fish. And just watch his technique, he does a good job. He's just, every time he lowers the rod tip, he's turning the handle. You see how he uses the rod and the reel to gain line. So he's gonna pick up the rod and he gets to a point where he's got a nice bend in the rod. And then when he gets the head turned a little bit, then he drops the rod tip and he cranks on it. That's exactly how you wind on a fish. It doesn't matter if it's a bluefin tuna like what we're hooked on now, a marlin, or even a rainbow trout. It's all the same technique. It's all about using the rod tip correctly so it beats up the fish, and then use the drag on the reel to like slow the fish down or kill the fish. And that's what he's doing here. He's been around the boat a few times. Must be a nice sized tuna, but this is a technique you want to do. You don't want to be turning the handle while you're lifting the rod. You don't want to be dropping the rod down and then trying to turn the handle. You just want to do it just like that, nice and easy, constant pull, just take your time. We're not going anywhere till he gets that fish in, and that's what you do. The other key to this type of fishing too, that's what you do once you got the fish hooked. The big key though is to be changing your bait all the time. You want to have a good fresh bait out there away from the boat. These bluefin tuna are real finicky, so we're using some fluorocarbon too. So just get that bait away from the boat a little bit, good lively bait. And once you hook it, you fight it like Jim, and you should end up with some fresh sashimi right after that. Well, I hope those video clips were helpful to you. You know, it's great to watch somebody like that, like Jim, that has great technique, knows how to fight a fish properly. It's a lot easier to land a fish if you do this technique that he's using, lift up and wind down. Doesn't matter what size angler you are. If you're a little tiny girl or a big guy like me, you use the same technique. It's not all about strength in your arms. It's about your legs and using the right technique, and you'll have more fun catching fish. I hope this video helped you, and for more information about TV show, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, I'm on Instagram too, and make sure you subscribe right here in the bottom right. Subscribe, and you can get all these releases, all these videos I have coming out right here on my YouTube channel. Well, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you real soon.